Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Thank you so much for joining us on another amazing interview. Now, remember, every week we show up here. Sometimes the day of the week and the time may change, so make sure you're checking in.
Mhm.
And if we're not here, that means that something special came up or we're on a break on this season. So lock in with us. Our special guest today, Miss Miska Dover, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Awesome. Now that is my
Good.
first time hearing that first name. So, what is the origin of that?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like I've heard that it's Russian, but it doesn't have a Russian meaning. I'm not sure.
Okay. You know what? My wife's middle name is Russian, I think. I think that's what she told me.
Okay.
And it has that Iska in
Yeah.
there. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm guessing so that probably is.
Yeah.
Now, when was it that you bumped into me online?
Oh my goodness. It was way back in 2010. Like I was fresh out of high school the year before. And I was seeing your quotes on Twitter, and I was like, who is this saying all of these profound things? I've always been attracted to dating and relationships, the topic of dating and relationships. So I went and sought you out and followed you to Instagram, followed you to YouTube. And during that time, I was single. So you was raising me. I'm like, can't nobody come into my life and not know about Tony Gaskins. So yeah, way
Wow.
back in 2010.
Now I struggle believing people sometimes, and this is one of those
Really?
times. I'm like, there is no possible way you found me in 2010. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
is wow, that's 14, 15 years now. So that is
Mhm.
something. Now, so today, what do you do like in your life for a living? And where are you? Where do you reside?
I'm in Ohio, Cincinnati area. I'm originally from Georgia though. I've been up here since 2010. So I guess it's kind of home now. And right now, I am helping in church. I'm youth pastoring in church. And so I do that alongside life coaching.
Okay. Now, as far as being a youth pastor in church, what, led you down that path? When was it that you got into church? How old were you and kind of what took you that route?
I have always been in church, but not, I guess, like a weekend, a weekend church goer would always get sent on the vacation Bible school bus when it came through the neighborhood. So that's the kind of relationship I had with church in as a child. But as an adult, I just recently became a youth pastor. So it's fairly new. And I just feel like I have a calling on my life for the youth, for children, and just having a hand in their development.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Now, so I'm guessing you may be in your early 30s or so. And this is my first time seeing somebody in your age range with a bookshelf, all them books. Now, does that have anything to do with you, or that's just like a family thing, like your parents set that up?
So it's mainly my husband.
Oh, oh,
I
okay.
got a few things sprinkled in there, a few of your books sprinkled in there. But it's mainly his. He's very studious in that way.
Oh, okay. So he
Yeah.
is the reader because he got me
Mhm.
jealous. I was I was telling my wife that I wanna like get me a bookshelf and go to like one of those vintage bookstores that sell all the books for like $1 and just like fill up the bookshelf
Yeah.
to pretend that I read. But man, that's pretty impressive. Now, your purpose work as far as that is concerned, what would you say that is today? Like what is your purpose work outside of the youth pastoring? I think you mentioned life coaching. Where are you in that space?
So, here recently, I just been feeling a big tug on my heart to reach to help younger individuals in the areas that I struggled in my 20s and things like that, navigating singleness and abstinence and things like that, and just growing up in a single parent home, trying to unlearn things and teach myself, the correct stuff or whatnot. So that's really the hard work that I am leaning into these days. I've just been granted the opportunity to leave the workplace and focus on life coaching solely. So that's a blessing or whatnot. And yeah, I'm excited.
Now you say granted the opportunity. Is what does that mean?
Well, thankfully, my husband can, you know, tend to the household financially himself. So that's what that's what I mean.
That's what I thought you meant, but I wanted to clarify because I didn't know if you mess around and stump your toe at work and got a
Oh
nice
no,
check or
no.
something, or I didn't hit the lotto, so I wanted to clarify.
I
Now,
wish.
now tell me a little bit about this husband of yours and how you met him and how this came about.
I met him at work. We were both um actually he had just came home from prison. I didn't know him prior. We ended up working at the same location, and he invited me to church the first time that I met him or started talking to him, and the rest is history. He has made so many strides since coming home and building himself up to making six figures. And I'm just super proud of him, and he is like a rock star to me. So
He,
yeah.
he definitely a rock. He he definitely a rock star
Yeah.
because coming home and then getting on that journey. Now met a strong, amazing woman. That's a testament too to having a woman in
Mhm.
your life. And where were y'all working at when y'all? Where were you working at when you met at work?
At a plant, I was doing administration at a plant, and he was working back, on the plant side of the business.
Okay, so he said he wanted
Yes.
to shoot his shot up. He cause cause he could have got one of them women from off the floor in the plant.
This is
He
true.
he he shot his shot to the admin. And I like his confidence, and that's amazing. And the reason why I ask that is because sometimes when we have somebody in our life, it's understated how important that person is when they're actual support system and they're doing their best and doing what they, or at least trying to do what they're supposed to be doing,
Mhm,
for you to be able to now be home and for him to be working on himself and you to be stepping into this space and him to be supporting you, because he could have been a hater and be like, oh, you follow him online, you listen to this man online, you can't listen to him, I'm the man, I'm the only man you listen to. And that's
mhm,
how a lot of guys are. And I mean, he's a better man than me in that area because I've never had to go through that. I've never had to confront or deal with my wife having male voices in her life that I have to sit and contend with and see if it's right or if I agree. So that's a
mhm.
blessing. That's a huge blessing. And the reason why I
Absolutely.
pointed that out is because there's a lot of women who watch these videos and they want a husband and they want that. And so just knowing how it looks and how sometimes it doesn't look how you maybe dreamt it up your first dream of marriage, as
Mhm.
far as where you're gonna meet, who you're gonna meet, how you're gonna meet, but it can work out. Now into your life coaching, that makes a lot of sense to want to help younger people who struggle with the things that you struggled with. So what is your, client avatar? Who is that ideal client for you?
I would say anywhere from early teens to well into your 40s, 50s. I don't discriminate. If if you I don't know, I just believe the word. Even from the mouth of babes, you can teach, you can share, I might have insight that someone else might not have. So any woman, yeah.
Right? That's amazing. And I agree 100% because life can teach us things in certain areas. Like my oldest client is in their 70s. And, me being 40, I just never imagined that. But then I realized it's like sometimes in certain areas, somebody could be a babe in that area, and somebody else could be a babe in life, but be and super duper experienced in certain areas of life, certain struggles or certain things. So that's amazing. Now, I really noticed that, especially with you being a youth pastor as well, how open are you to working with teenage girls? Because there may be some moms who, their life is in order, they got it together, but they got a 16-year-old daughter that they're struggling to reach. How comfortable with that are you?
Very comfortable. I'm actually looking to start a mentorship ship program here soon. It's like been coming, finding me for the last year or so. So it's, I don't know, I just feel like it's God talking, saying, all right, girl, it's time to move over in that lane, so very comfortable.
That's amazing. Cause I noticed that because I've had some moms hire me to work with their 16 and 17-year-old daughter. And I'm like, I get that she needs help, or maybe she doesn't have a father and you need a male voice, but she also needs a woman's voice as well, that may be outside of mom if they don't have a good relationship or whatever. Because you as a woman, you're going to understand things about a 16, 17-year-old girl that I would never understand. I don't even have a daughter. So that's why I pointed that out, because although you can work with 30, 40, 50, I also need the people watching this interview to come to you for their teenage daughter instead of coming to me.
Absolutely.
It be- you know, because it's going to be a different relation there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, where is it that you kind of see the brand going? Have you written a book yet? Do you have any plans to?
I have. I've written a book and I'm wrapping up the final details on the one that I'm working on now. The first book came out and was self-published in 2018, I think. And it's titled Confessions of a Serial Dater. And so it's just going over basically my tell-all. um, detailing from singleness to marriage and how navigating a decision to remain abstinent at 15, how that played out in my 20s and how it played out with faith and dating and things like that. So,
Mm.
yes,
And what's the title of the book?
Confessions of a Serial Dater.
And is it on Amazon?
It's not on Amazon, it's on my website, um, meskadover.com. And yeah, it can be found there.
Okay, so when they order it, is it like a PDF download or you ship it out to them?
It's a physical book.
Okay, awesome. I
Yes.
love that. So Meska, Meska, Dover, Dover.com,
That's right.
MiskaDover.com. So
That's right.
everybody watching this, her website is in the description box. So you can check there. And if you don't know how to get to the description box, just hit the down arrow. But it's MiskaDover.com. And now, Miska, I want to talk to you about that as well, because I know we're gonna have people reaching out to book coaching sessions for themselves or friends or family members, but I'm trying to clarify what I thought I heard, because it sounded like you said at 15 you decided to be abstinent.
Hmm.
Now, tell me a little bit about that decision, and how long did it last? How long were you successful?
Yes. So, I was raised by a single mother and, saw the trials and tribulations that went on in her life due to becoming pregnant at 15, well, 14 and having me at 15. So I was like, we don't want to repeat. We can't repeat this. So what can I do, to not live a life of lack, to not live a life of limits or whatnot. And so my young mind said, girl, clink clink. So living back home, I was able to direct myself from that, that pledge, friends and family. But moving up here to Ohio, I never having a boyfriend, never dating, never, doing anything physical. And so moving up here, I just started to desire affection and male company more. And so that led me on a serial dating spree where I was like online dating and just carrying on. Tony, I'm sorry. Carrying on. But I still was able to maintain, my pledge, and my husband is he's the first person that, I was physical with, and 26 is when that lasted. And so the truth that I knew was still playing in my head during that time. But it was still feelings that arose that affected my mental health. It was, a yearning and a void that I was trying to fill with something that ain't had nothing to do with no boy. So yeah, if that answers your question.
I mean, that does, but I wasn't expecting to hear that. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting to hear, 15 to 26. I thought you was gonna say, well, I decided at 15, but you know, failed at 16. And so I definitely wasn't expecting to hear that. But
Mhm.
that is something. And that right there, I mean, that deserve a whole nother episode we're gonna have to do, because it's so many people. So now, and I don't want to ask too many questions because I don't want to
You're
get you in
fine.
trouble, with your husband. But did you just say he was the first person that you had intercourse with?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Because it's sometimes as men we hear that and we are told never to believe that. But
Mm.
I mean, and J. Cole rapped about it. He said, whatever she say, multiply it by three, but zero times three is zero. So
Zero. Okay.
you still in there. Whereas if you said one, then it would be three. But he was your first. That is amazing. But also that's so inspirational for everyone who is abstinent. Because that's really what you need to be teaching on and talking
Mm.
about. And then also, I'm trying not to do a praise dance right now. Uh, when I tell you, it's taking everything. It is taking everything in me not to do no praise dance right now. Because let me tell you something. Cause you said serial dater. That means you were able to go on multiple dates, or like date
Yeah.
multiple men, and you was online dating and stuff like that. So before you met your husband and he became your husband, about how many men did you get to date before then?
Oh, mercy. Now, none of these dates lasted, or these interactions lasted more than a week or so. No titles involved or anything like that. But it was maybe 20 or so.
Yeah, that's a no, that's a honestly, that's a low number. That's a low
Okay.
number. Now, I know to women it might be like, Tony, that's a lot. I ain't get that. But online dating will help with that. But
Mhm.
the reason I ask that as well is because a lot of times, which you did online dating on your own, but you were getting knowledge, so you knew what to look for
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
knew how to carry yourself. And
Yes,
there's so
sir.
many women that say, "Oh, I won't be able to wait, or I won't be able to hold out. A man won't be cool with that." But I always say, if he feels you're the one, he gonna be okay with it, and he'll figure out a way to wait. But here's something that I feel like happened that, and I could be reaching, but I feel like by you saving yourself, that just had you more radiant. Like it had
Mm-hmm.
your, I don't know the word, the pheromones or whatever it's called. Like I feel like there's something scientific and just something spiritual about a pure woman, a woman who hasn't given her body away, that a man could like kind of pick up. Like it's a scent that we don't even know what that
Mm-hmm.
scent is, because that right there, you meeting these guys, you able to just cut them off. Nope, you ain't the one. Nope, you ain't the one. But you get a lot of knowledge, and then you
Mm-hmm.
meet the one. And here's what I like about what you did, and I want to ask you, what made you, or what was it that made you look beyond him having a record and you going beyond that
Mm-hmm.
probably preference that you may have had?
Um, he said what he meant. I could see, whatever he said, there was actions to follow. He had a plan. He had on a paper written out things that he wanted to do when he came home, write a book, coach basketball, um, perform, like different things, a long list. And things on that list were being checked off. And I just and then God himself, he would send me dreams. I'm like, God, if he ain't about the right stuff, if this ain't you, let me know. I ain't got a problem with, getting them on somewhere. And so when I would go to sleep, dreams of him helping me in dreams, just help me. That's what I just kept getting on top of, his actions aligning with what he said and his drive and his, passion or whatnot. So yeah, that's the main things. Yeah.
That is amazing. And y'all women and y'all dreams. I be getting so tired of hearing about a woman dreams and what the Lord showed her in her dreams. I just be like, will y'all stop eating before y'all go to sleep? And I'm like, y'all didn't let that food digest. And so, but,
Hilarious.
but this dream, it paid off. These dreams paid off. Because the reason why I say that is because so many women send me their dream and what they seen in the dream, but yours
Yeah,
paid off. Now, on your site, can people book coaching sessions with you?
they can. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And currently, right now, what is your coaching rate on the site?
Oh, it's I cannot even remember. I'm so sorry. It's no more than $40.
Okay, okay. Well, you done said 40, so if it's 50,
Right.
so if it's 50, take it on down. But you know what? That's amazing rate. I think majority of people can afford that. And what I would like to see is, other than, the teenage girls and the young ladies in their 20s, I would like to see women who want to online date, and or if they want to date a lot to get more experience talking to men,
Mhm.
and if they want to be abstinent until marriage. Every woman under the
Mhm.
sound of my voice, if you fall into any one of those categories, you need to reach out to your sister, because it would be great for you to be a dating coach, like an online dating coach for women who want an online date, because I'm against it. But I am okay with it under certain guidance and support and certain situations. Like you
Mhm.
move to a new state, what have you, you got to an age to where you want to, meet people. And that was the way to do it. So sometimes you have certain circumstance to where you got to do it. And I thank God for gracing you,
Mhm.
because you could have been dismembered, like some, you could have went through a lot, and he graced you. But when we recognize his grace, that's when we
Mhm.
give back.
Mhm.
So that's amazing. Now, have you ever had to do that, like be an online dating coach or abstinence coach?
I have my friends and just people I meet, they always coming up to me. I don't know what I got on my forehead, but I'm always like doing it, but never for formally doing it or whatnot. So um I don't know. I guess I'm just making it formal and putting a title on it now.
Right. Now, what
Mhm.
are some of the things that, I mean, we always working on ourselves, but what are some of the things that you've had to transform in you from your younger years to being the woman you are today? And I know we always becoming, but what are some of the things, some of the shortcomings, or some of the weak areas in your life or in your mindset that you've had to overcome?
Not having my father in my life, not having that positive male authority. Sometimes I have to catch myself from telling my husband, all right, this feeling a little like parenting, but it's really sound advice. So just being comfortable with the male voice that means me no harm, that's the area. Wow, so many, things that I'm working on. I Nothing's coming to mind except that right now. Maybe saying, being more vocal. My childhood called During my childhood, I'll say, um, I had to be needless and wantless a lot, and not saying what I needed or what I would prefer, or just not having an opinion, trying to be easy. Um, in my relationship now, or over the course of it, you have expectations, but if you ain't communicating them expectations, sis, how and he's not a mind reader. So just being more vocal, saying what I mean, meaning what I say, being okay with positive male voice, things like that,
I
hopefully.
see. That is a huge learning curve, though. That is a
Yeah.
huge, and I do notice that with a lot of women who didn't have that male voice growing up.
Mhm.
When they get a male voice in their life, they can be like, you know,
Rebellious.
right. And
Yeah.
I do notice that. Like, if I have to share something with my wife that, like you say, is advice that's only for her benefit, I've
Mhm.
noticed over time, like it's certain time, her whole energy will shift. And it's just, she didn't grow up with a father in the home. Like she knew him in the summers, but not day to day.
Mhm.
And that was great for me to hear from you, because she's never expressed that. But for you to say that, I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And that's what I'm sensing in a lot of my clients too. So that is. And one thing your hairstyle, how did you come about that hairstyle? Because it looks very befitting, and that's a style that I want a lot of women who watching this to pick up on that style. Now,
Yeah.
how did that happen? What made you choose that?
I just like big hair. I just like big hair, natural hair. Um, Heat damage is I'm not for the heat damage, so I just like it a little more curly and free.
Okay, and the reason why I say that too is because I got a video that's out by the time this shows that where I'm talking about that, how sometimes like just getting comfortable in our own skin, knowing
Mhm.
ourselves, knowing who we
Mhm.
are, identifying our look, whatever look it is and whatever stage it is, that also plays into how you show up in a room and whatever hairstyle it was when you met your husband. I'm sure because you're self-aware, it was what you
Mhm.
wanted to have at that time, and that helps you show up
Absolutely.
differently. So listen, you have a lot, Miska, that you can share. And I'm hoping that you get to connect with a lot of people through this interview. And I know everybody's being very selective because they're like, Tony, I'm okay. I'm meeting all these people. I'd be done cashed out my whole retirement fund doing sessions with all these people. But, I really looking forward to seeing you build your tribe, build your brand, and keep working. Of course, no, I'm here for you as a coach and consultant to help you go to that next level. So keep doing that. Is it any words on your heart that you have for the people in our closing?
Oh my goodness, just meskadover.com. I have a YouTube channel where I give little tips and tricks and things like that for dating and relationships and singleness and self-care and things like that. So yes, thank you.
Meskadover.com. And what's your YouTube channel name?
Meskadover. Mes-
Okay, awesome. You got a very unique name.
Yes.
So Meska. So thank you so much, Miska. It was amazing talking to you, and I'm wishing you all the success in the world. And everybody who's watching this, make sure that you tap in with Miska. If you can use her services or just get some insight about the online dating process, the abstinence process, all of it. Thank y'all, and y'all stay tuned. And I'm sure I will see you again soon. God bless.